It's a brand new year, 2026, and after a joyfully lazy Christmas break, I've been working to reclaim my shape and get Small Movie World back into the swing of things, bigger and better than ever before. And what more suitable way, reviewing a series that's all about rising up to the challenge. Rocky, released in 1976. It's actually been a fair while since I last watched this top to bottom, so I was wondering if it'd actually still hold up that strongly. But the simple answer is, it does. And at the heart of it is the young, handsome babyface Sylvester Stallone, who also wrote this, which I'm sure is crazy for many to comprehend, especially modern folk, that he of all people could deliver such a script, but he did quite the good job. As Rocky Balboa, he's an average Joe, an underdog who gets given the chance to prove himself even though he doesn't see himself as anything that special. Just like Sly, they're one and the same and it's well encompassed. There's no Hollywood hotshot BS here. Most importantly, Rocky is easy to connect with. He is so damn charming. I love his weird sense of humour, his funny dialogue, his bad jokes aplenty, his weird quips. Take a shot every time he says, yo, or absolutely. He has a distinct outfit. I like that quirk of him always bouncing a ball, and while he's a bit of a brute who can barely read or write, he has a heart of gold. He's concerned for others like young Marie, he's fond of animals like his fish, his turtles, and big old Butkus the dog, and he means well, even if he can't properly articulate it. But when that passion burns through, he truly speaks from the heart. The man has a hard life, and you understand that he has to do what he does merely for survival, day by day. He boxes because he can't sing or dance, and even then, his earnings are tax-ridden chump change, so he has to work for a crime boss, Mr. Gazzo. But he never does what he does out of bad malice, and he never goes too far. He has a limit, and he's always willing to show resistance, again adding to the likability of this character. Oh, and lastly, the Italian Stallion is a smashing nickname. Talia Shire is excellent as Adrian, a very shy introvert who gradually breaks out, loosens up, and even manages to speak for herself as Rocky brings her out of her shell, and he sees beauty in her overlooked by others. The romance is very nice, and that ice skate date is the epitome of sweet, although in hindsight, too often Rocky pushes a bit hard and, even though gently, kind of forces himself upon her. Yeah, that's not gonna fly now in this day and age. Granted, Adrian does actually fancy him back, but still, a little bit of an uncomfortable grey area. Different times, I suppose. And speaking of not aging well, Burt Young as Paulie. Such a temperamental bastard, who I immediately think of as a cartoon in the later films like 3 and especially 4. But here, he is so unlikable, I just want to punch him. He hates Adrian, verbally abuses her all the time, even close to physically, and just shoots her down constantly. Then he has the audacity to attach himself to Rock once he gets his opportunity. It's so surprising that he's stuck around for the rest of the series. You would have figured him as a villain that gets left in the dirt, pushed aside and blocked out their lives in the future. But to Burt Young's credit, that's the role he's given, and he does it well. Too well, in fact. Burgess Meredith is Mickey. What an awesome ball of bitter, raging fire. He is massively entertaining. The ultimate example of the cranky old coach, manager, motivational figure, whatever. He's loud and well in charge, equipped with that famous coarse voice of his, and he is a cash machine of epic quotes withdrawn constantly. You don't want to know, dumb dago, you got heart but you felt like a goddamn ape, it's a waste of life, and the golden apex, you're gonna eat lightning and you're gonna crap thunder. Now initially it seems like he shows no care, but then he does open up to Rock and wants to dispense his knowledge and experience and help take him to the top, partly as a way to repent for his own mistakes, so there's actual depth to him beyond the yelling. Although his advice that women weaken legs, that is nonsense. Clearly the guy hasn't had some in decades. And finally, Apollo Creed, played by Carl Weathers in elite form. He's a loudmouth, loaded with cash, famous, electrifying, stylish, a showman with great comebacks and insults in his back pocket at any given moment, the perfect baddie you want to be shut up and knocked down a peg off his egotistical mountain. He's so cocky, he's willing to hand out contendership to a no-name amateur, also for the sake of publicity and, extra dollars. He's the polar opposite of Rocky in every sense, so that makes him the ideal opponent. Also shout out to Tony Burton as Duke, a cool dude. John G. Avildsen is the director, and it goes without saying that this is among his finest works. What he does best, I think, is how he builds this real, authentic, relatable world, which is added to its half-century timelessness. He practically makes Philadelphia a living, breathing character all its own, from the scuzzy venues, to the cramped homes, to the bad weather, to the guys hanging at the corner, humming their wee tunes. It's all so effective, and it's interesting to see the quiet, low-key, humble working-class vibe compared to the sequels. John Crabb's cinematography only boosts that fact, with his camera work often being very up close and personal, but he also delivers some nice visual moments, like the iconic shots of the stairs, which is one of the earliest uses of Steadicam, and the city skyline from the gallery, which is a beautiful image etched in cinematic history. And then there's Bill Conti with his legendary music, from the triumphant opening trumpets, to the gentle piano keys, to the cool pieces that mix brass with contemporary funk, and when Gonna Fly Now kicks in, oh hell yeah. And then when it hits that peak at the end, oh good god, how could you not be ignited by that? First timers might be caught off guard that how there's actually barely any boxing in the film, but it's not about the boxing. First and foremost, it's about the character of Rocky and his arc, and the journey that we follow him on. The first half is all about getting to know him, so once the events truly get going by the midway point, we're behind him, rooting for him. And thus we start the training, which always fires me up. Watching him jog and throw fists gives me the urge to get up and go for a run myself. You know a film is working well when it generates that kind of subconscious response. Probably a Neanderthal masculine impulse thing, I don't know. Then there's the fight itself on 1st of January, which I guess classifies this as a New Year's movie. But even before that, we get Rock visiting the empty arena the night before, taking in the weight of it all. It's super simple, but it gets my hairs up on end. It actually might be my favourite scene now. But yeah, the match, Apollo coming out as George Washington, is hilarious, and the fight is altogether very raw with no major theatrics. It's straightforward and to the point, and Bill Conti's going the distance amps things up even further. The highlight being Rocky unexpectedly getting back up his feet in the 14th round, and that look of disbelief on Apollo's face. Then the 15th round, both men refuse to back down. Rocky because of heart, Apollo because of ego, and they survive to the final bell, which gives us an inspirational ending. Because while Rocky ultimately didn't win, it doesn't matter, because he accomplished his goal and he endured from bell to bell, proving to himself that he's just not another bum in the neighbourhood. And in that moment, he doesn't care about the boxing no more, he just wants Adrian. It's an emotionally charged closing few minutes. Overall, Rocky is still a fantastic film that truly still goes the distance and continues to make a serious impression 50 years on. Yeah, there's a couple of elements that some folk wouldn't be appeased by, which is fair enough, but personally, it's still an inspiration to me, and it never fails to make me feel good and try to better myself. Now, did it deserve Best Picture? Well, it's tricky to say because, good lord, what a field that year. One of the all-time lineup of Best Picture nominees, am I right? Ultimately, awards are awards. Either way, it created and is maintained an immortal legacy, which we will see continue throughout the rest of the series. I'm Jason, and this is Small Movie World, watching, talking, and loving films. Do 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 do, take you back.